This video will demonstrate the major features of our zone heating capstone project. We will go over the Wi-Fi connection process, vent pairing, HVAC and fan utilization, vents opening and closing based on temperature readings, and finally the charging of the vents. For this demo, we have set up our custom-built thermostat PCB directly to the HVAC of the house, as well as a computer connected to the thermostat to supply log information and power. We have two vents. The first vent is partially disassembled to show some of its components. The entire system is controlled by the user through our smartphone app. And here is the second vent installed in the floor register. When running the Venti thermostat for the first time, we need to connect to the Wi-Fi. We do this through a process called Smart Config. The app detects the user's current SSID and the user inputs their password, which is then later exchanged with the thermostat. To initiate Smart Config, the user presses the button on the thermostat to put it into pairing mode. After entering the password on the app, the user presses the Connect Thermostat button. This looks for the broadcasted signal from the thermostat and makes a connection. The thermostat then receives this information and connects to the Wi-Fi directly. When the connection is established, the thermostat will then send an HTTP request to the server, indicating that the thermostat is connected to the Wi-Fi and is ready for operation. Finally, the user gets a notification on the app indicating successful connection, and allows them to continue setting up their home. Now that the thermostat is connected, we need to add some vents. To begin, the user presses Pair Vent on the smartphone app to initiate the vent pairing process. The thermostat will then start scanning for vents that are not currently paired to the system. This avoids reconnecting to already paired vents during the pairing process. When the pairing connection is created, the thermostat and the vent exchange encryption keys for safe communication. Finally, when the vent is fully paired, the thermostat will instruct the vent to open, which is the default position. After vent pairing connection is completed, the thermostat will store the MAC address of the vent on the server and inside a local data structure in thermostat memory. The user can then name the vent as they please and pair a second vent if desired. We will repeat the same process for the second vent. Now that the home is set up, we can run the system in its normal operation. This screen shows the status of the HVAC, the local weather, and each room with its status and control. There's a slider which allows the user to adjust the temperature for each room. To activate the HVAC, the temperature set for each room must be lower than the current temperatures. This will enable a rule which will activate the fan and AC, thus cooling the room. For safety, we activate the fan first, and after a period of time activate the AC. This will prevent too much current being drawn all at once. Notice how the LEDs on the thermostat light up indicating the AC is on, as well as how the HVAC status on the app changes to cool. Because we chose to cool both rooms, the vents should be open to allow cool air to flow in. Now, let's try to increase the temperature for the second vent, indicating that we no longer want it to be cooled. This should now close the vent. The first vent was unchanged and should remain open. To turn off the HVAC, we no longer need to cool the rooms. We do this by increasing all temperature settings above the current temperature. Now, the AC should turn off, followed by the fan. Vents will remain in the previous state since now the HVAC is off. Let's re-enable the HVAC by lowering the temperature for the first vent. The first vent should remain open while the second vent will close. Now, swapping the temperature settings should now close the first vent and open the second. These are decisions that are made by the thermostat, which consider the temperatures of each vent and their set temperatures. We will now briefly demonstrate how to charge the battery on the vent. With the battery plugged in, we plug in the charging cable, which will begin the charging process and activate a status LED, Stat 1. As can be seen by the datasheet, Stat 1 on and Stat 2 off corresponds to fast charge in progress. Charging can also be done through micro USB.